I truthfully feel like being recommended a book and actually loving it just as much as the person that recommended it to you is like such a top tier incredible feeling. Like words just don't even describe how marvelous it is. And hopefully in today's video, that's exactly what we're gonna do. I recently asked y'all on Instagram, I did a poll. I was like, what's your favorite book? I know it's the hardest question ever, but it was for a YouTube video, and you guys gave me so many good responses. I started typing the responses into a Google Sheet, like I think maybe an hour and a half before it closed, so I might be missing a couple of recommendations. It's really hard to like go back and check once you've already done it, but if I'm missing your recommendation, I'm so sorry, but there were so many good ones on there, and I'll put them all over here while I talk. But in this video today, I am reading 3 of your guys' favorite books ever. I had to stop reading for a little bit because I am flying tomorrow and I needed to meal prep, but I got my meal prep done and I've just been hanging out on the couch reading. I'm currently on page 50. I have just been reading and laughing so much. It is so funny and also relatable. I don't know how old Dolly is, but I feel like we're around the same age. Like I feel like she has to be maybe in like her mid-30s, so just a lot of it about growing up is super relatable to me as somebody who is 30, but she's just been talking about like AOL and like MSN chat and growing up in the age of the internet and school. A lot of it is so funny. Like I just can't stop laughing and giggling. She is very, very witty, and I really, really appreciate the book so far for that. But I am loving it so far. My first impressions are it's amazing. I get why everybody loves it. She's so funny, she's so witty, and it's super, super relatable. And I'm only on page 50. I'm sure this book is gonna keep being amazing, and I can't wait to keep reading it and laughing. Happy Wednesday. I am sitting in the work parking lot. I wanted to say a little hi before I go fly. Today I do LA, Dallas, and then Dallas, Columbus, Ohio. I have never flown to Columbus, being based out of LA. I don't know if I've honestly ever flown there for work. I've flown there once for fun, which is a really fun story. Maybe tonight I'll tell you when I get to my hotel room, but it's truly one of my favorite cities in the US. I love it so much. So I'm really, really excited to go fly. I'm gonna be reading Everything I Know About Love today. I can't really update you because I'm gonna be flying and working, but when I get to the hotel room tonight, I will. But I just wanted to say hi and let you know I'll see you later. I'm in Columbus. I made it. I had an early night last night. It's about 10 o'clock now, and I'm gonna head over to one of my favorite little coffee shop cafes in the entire world. It's called Fox in the Snow, but I came here a very long time ago. I don't even remember how many years. When I was living in Chicago, my roommate was a photographer and he was shooting Switchfoot. No, he was shooting Coin. Coin was playing here, and I flew from Chicago to here to just see the show and hang out. I had such a good time. I was supposed to leave the next morning, so I just came in for like a night. And the next morning I was at a coffee shop and some girl, is this how the story went? I think this is how the story went. I don't know if I met her at the concert, but I'm pretty sure I met her the next day at the coffee shop. But the next day at the coffee shop, I met this girl who recognized me from my Instagram and was like, you should stay and hang out with me. You can stay at my place and like, I'll show you around. And I was like, Okay. So I think I ended up staying for like 2 or 3 days, and I got to like just run around and explore Columbus and make a new friend, and it was so much fun. And I don't know if that's why I have like such a love for this city, because of that experience, or if because I just really like this city a lot. It was so special. It was so sweet. And yeah, so all of that to say, I'm going to Fox in the Snow Cafe. They have such good breakfast sandwiches and such good coffee, and it is so cute in there. I'm actually going, I think they opened a second location, and I'm going to the second location, which is not their main one, because I am so excited. I'm going to this bookstore. It's so big. I think it's very well known. It's just like, it's insane. It never ends. It's so cute. And I'm gonna go book shopping and maybe read a little bit there. I'm going to the other location of Fox in the Snow because it's closer to the bookstore, but it's still gonna be just as cute, just as special. And I'm so excited. Book update before I go, I forgot to tell you. I am about 135 pages in. I've read this much so far, and I'm still really, really loving it. I feel like there's not a lot to say about it because it is an autobiography, so it's just so much of her life. And she's really been talking about like her first relationships and alcoholism, how so much of that has shaped her, and just her journey with her best friends, her first loves, like I said, and all of the things that just happen when you're growing up and in your 20s. And I will say, I'm thoroughly surprised because I did not think it was going to be this funny. She's just hilarious, and her banter with you as the reader is so funny. I found myself laughing so much, and I can't wait to read a lot more. Through the most stunning park. It's so pretty. It's so nice here. It's like 74. I'm having one of the best layovers I've had in so long. I like want to come here to visit with Joseph. It's so cute and charming. I'm so excited to be here, but I am about to go walk to the bookstore. It's called the Book Loft, and it has 32 rooms. That's what like its thing is, but let's go. It is a few days later. Y'all, I have been laughing my ass off. It is so real, but so funny, and it is so special. It is so charming and funny. She's so witty. I will always rate autobiographies or memoirs or anything that has to do with somebody's personal life. It always gets a 5-star. I know some people just don't rate it at all, but to me, if you are brave enough and strong enough and courageous enough to write about your life and to put it out into the world, and to never get what you say about yourself, your family, and experiences back, that just gets 5 stars to me. As somebody who's written a book about her life, it is the worst. It's not the worst, it's the most beautiful privilege, honor to do so, but it is so scary because once you put it out, you never get it back. This book has sold like thousands and thousands, probably millions of copies, and she's talking about her life, eating disorders, alcoholism, losing people, friendship. Like, you're basically standing naked, you know, in front of a stage of people, but you never get to put your clothes back on ever. I love this book so much. It is gonna hold a special place in my heart, and I totally understand why you guys, more than one person said it was their favorite book, and I also understand why people talk about this book all the time. This is how the book ends. When you're looking for love and it seems like you might not ever find it, remember you probably have access to an abundance of it already, just not the romantic kind. This kind of love might not kiss you in the rain or propose marriage, but it will listen to you, inspire you, and restore you. It will hold you when you cry, celebrate when you're happy, and sing All Saints with you when you're drunk. You have so much to gain and learn from this kind of love. You can carry it with you forever. Keep it as close to you as you can. Wow. What a book. Hello. I have made it to Kauai, and it is the most stunning day. I still have so much time left here to read and sit at the pool. I'm so stoked. I'm gonna change really quick and then I'll tell you guys about my book that I started and all of the things. I read 130 pages on my flight today. I had an almost 6-hour flight over here, and I started this book, and that's where I left off. What I can tell you about this book so far in the 130 pages that I've read is that I really like it. I'm having fun with it. I feel like the plot is really kind of building up, like I'm getting to where the story is really gonna unravel. We really just learned a lot about the main character, Samantha. She is 16, she's a senior in high school. She has a really toxic, cliquey friend group that leaves her out, that bullies a lot of people. It's really bad. She's navigating that. She's navigating high school. She's navigating her mental health. She struggles heavily with OCD. So it's showing that in the high school aspect along the same lines as her going to therapy. She's been going to therapy for I think it's for almost 6 years now. It goes back and forth between her high school and then therapy, and then a little bit into the book she meets this girl in the hall who takes her to, it's not a secret club, but it's like a secret room where people read poetry and anything that has to do with words, they do in this secret room. And so she's brought once, and she's told she's never allowed to come back, but she really, really wants to come back. So she starts writing and just making newer friends that are different than her toxic friends. And that's kind of been the story so far. So it definitely feels like a coming of age, or just navigating high school, but with a very strong emphasis on OCD and mental health, which I really appreciate and adore. Just like a coming of age with somebody who struggles heavily with OCD. Yeah, I'm really liking this book so far. It is definitely feeling young adulty, but I'm also 30 years old, and 16 and being a senior in high school was a really long time ago. So I don't know if it is the writing that feels young adulty, or if it's just I'm maybe a little bit unattached from my high school years. So I will update you a little bit later on about where I'm at and all of the things. I feel like a granny. It's 8:30 and I'm barely keeping my eyes open, but I'm gonna read a little bit more, and I am going to try to go find coffee and go on a nice walk in the morning, and also find somewhere to just sit and read. I'll see you tomorrow. I have an update for you. I finished every last word this morning. This book made me feel things, which I feel like is why I really appreciate it. It was very, very young adulty, but the message was beautiful. The coming of age, finding yourself, being okay with your mental health, and like finding healthy friends was done really well, I believe. And the way that the author did it with like the little twist was really beautiful and different from anything that I've read before. So I really, really did like this book. If you struggle with mental health at all, specifically OCD, you might feel seen in this book, but I just really thought it was sweet and real. Even though I was in high school over a decade ago, I still immediately was taken back to my high school years. So I think I'm gonna give this book a 3.75. I have been loving y'all's books so much. This has been so much fun. I will see you tomorrow when I get home. I am currently in my new little reading nook, and I wanted to let you guys know that I finally started the last book of this video, the most talked about, requested, loved book, The Glass Castle. I started it the other day on a flight. I am 63 pages in, and so far this book is so good. I got to 63 pages so fast. But what I'll tell you about this book so far is it's one of those memoirs where you're like, there's no freaking way that like this is made up. Like there's no way, this is batshit crazy. There's just no way. Memoirs like that are of course so good because they're entertaining, but this is giving me the same vibes as Educated. And if you haven't read it, her dad in that book is off of his rocker nuts. And just her childhood upbringing, like the stuff that happens to her is just, it doesn't even seem real. And so far this book is giving me that same feeling. We're following the main character, Jeanette. It started off the book with present day. It was just like a very small chapter, and then it jumped to her childhood and her upbringing, and so far we're just kind of like seeing what that was like. I'm still speechless. I just can't believe there's people that have lives that are like The Glass Castle. One of the first stories that this book opens up with is her at the age of 3 making hot dogs by herself and literally burning herself to the point of where she has to go to the hospital and like have wound control for like weeks. Like it wasn't just like a little tiny burn. It was her body is burnt. At 3 years old, she's cooking herself food. Can you imagine being 3 and making hot dogs on the stove by yourself? Like just the opening story of this book being that, I was like, this is about to be a wild, wild ride. Her dad's crazy, her mom's crazy. There's no way. I'm really, really liking it, and that feels dark and twisted to say because her life is so fudged up, and this is just gonna be like a dysfunctional, jaw-dropping memoir, and I am definitely probably gonna fly through this because it's just one of those books that you cannot believe and you cannot put down. What's fun about my YouTube is that you truly never know where I'm gonna be in the world. And today I woke up in Indianapolis. Every time I come to Indianapolis, it just does something to my little soul. And it's been really fun coming here because it's actually kind of chilly in the morning, and a couple of the little trees are changing colors, so it's giving me the fall vibes I'm so desperately wanting and yearning for. But I am about to go read The Glass Castle. I have a little bit less than 100 pages left, so I'll be reading today, and then on my flight, I'll probably finish it tonight and tell you guys all the things tomorrow when I get home. But I'm at the point in this book of where I'm getting pissed. I cannot believe that this sweet angel had to go through the things that she's been through. She's only like 12 at this point. And it's absolutely heartbreaking. I cannot believe that there's people out there that had lives like this. I'm gonna say it 1,000 times, but it's so depressing. And like, yes, it's shocking, but it's just hurting my feelings at this rate. For her 10th birthday, her dad says
It's a big day. She's turning double digits. He will get her whatever she wants, as big as she wants, but it's her 10th birthday, so like it should be big. And she goes, it's big. Just ask, baby. I'm scared. You know, if it's humanly possible, I'll get it for you. And if it ain't humanly possible, I'll die trying. And then she asks, do you think you could maybe stop drinking? For her 10th birthday, this sweet angel of a child asked her alcoholic dad if he could stop drinking. My soul. There's 4 kids total, and they have like no clothes. Sometimes they have electricity. They have no food, except the mom somehow is like a chocolate addict, and the only food that they have, she ends up like eating. The mom won't get a job. I'm like, what? It's literally tearing my soul in half. Her writing is so poetic and beautiful, and it captivates you in a way that you want to keep reading. But this story is so heartbreaking, and I'm like, where the is child services? And so far in this book, they've shown up once, and they never came back. Her parents were home. Anyways, I'm gonna go to a coffee shop. I'm gonna read this book, finish it, sit in my feelings, and tomorrow when I get home, I'll let you know all of the things. Not only did I finish The Glass Castle, but I successfully read 3 of my followers, you guys, your favorite books. Not only was it special, it truly was pretty hard for me because I am such a big mood reader, so I just read whatever I'm in the mood for, and if I pick up the book and I'm not feeling it because I'm not in the mood, I'll switch to a different book. So picking 3 books out and only having to read these and not being able to read, you know, other stuff and jump around was very hard for me, but it was so much fun. I'm so glad I'm getting to connect with you guys a little bit more and read some of your books that you love and adore and cherish. When I posted this on my story, so many people said that's my favorite book ever. And since I didn't really get to say a lot because this is the last book that I read, I will tell you that I absolutely love this book. As you guys know in this video, I always rate memoirs 5 stars, but this book truly does give 5-star feelings. I loved this book. This book is batshit crazy. It's really, really, really sad that this is her life. The stories in this book are wild. They don't even seem like it could be somebody's life, especially a child, but it was very, very good. Jeanette is so graceful. She still loves her family and loved her family up until the very end of this book, and I just was blown away that this was somebody's life and that their family was still so tight-knit, as fudged up as they were. So I always rate memoirs 5 stars, so this gets a 5-star, and it truly was a really, really good book. I finished it really fast. I was just the whole time, I feel like my face like was just, this is not a happy book. The other memoir that I read, Everything I Know About Love, even though it wasn't a happy book, like some stuff happens to her as well, she is so funny. I laughed so much. She's so witty. There's so much good banter like between us and her as she's explaining her life. This one got 5 stars too because it is a memoir. I always rate memoirs 5 stars. And then the last book that I'll talk about was Every Last Word. This book is special. It wasn't my favorite book ever, but I loved this story. I loved the mental health aspect of it. It made me feel nostalgic for high school and the person that I used to be, and it was a really fun, sweet, easy read. Thank you guys so much for your suggestions. It is so beautiful to connect with people through things that they love, whether it's books, music, TV. I just love seeing what makes people happy, and books are like my #1 thing that make me happy. So it's been very special to read your guys' favorite books. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Kisses, kisses.